Tide Talk with Webb is back. We'll recap the game of LSU and Bama. What's going on, Dad?
Hey, just waiting on Alabama to show up with a run game.
Well, I don't know if that's going to get fixed this year. Definitely don't think it's going to get fixed this year. Now, remember, we're playing a top five defensive line in the country. And before the first 5 games of the season, they had the best defense in the country. And we got to remember they had one of the top five defensive lines for getting pressure. Um, and so, and with four down linemen, so yeah, that's kind of a thing you kind of got to look at and say, well, I mean, yeah, and let's be honest, the offense got a C plus.
Yeah, what's happening here is that everything starts up front at the offensive line. When I was in school, with Coach Bryant, 78, 79, there was back-to-back national championships. We had a great line. We ran the ball. We were a threat. People were scared of us. And then, AJ comes along. We have the best offensive line probably in the history of college football because all five of those guys went to the NFL. That's why we won back to back. And then compare it with this year. There are 139 Division 1A colleges. We rank 134th in rushing. So it's just not one team that we're playing against, and they're great and wonderful. We have played some good teams, but our rushing game is atrocious. Everybody in the stands knows on first down we're going to give it to Jam, and he's going to go up in the middle and get stuffed. He might get a half a yard. So I don't think the problem is with Jam. I don't think it's the problem. I don't think Derrick Henry or Mark Ingram could run behind our offensive line now. It's been 10 weeks, and they're getting worse. Would they have 56 yards rushing? But it's not just against LSU. If you go back and look at all the previous games, Ty Simpson is running for his life. It looks like Bozeman High School. That's their problem. They don't have offensive line. Even though he may not be getting sacked, it's because of his athletic ability. In a second and a half, he's got guys in his face. He's got to throw the ball. That's why a lot of his throws were a little off, Saturday night. When you're running for your life, you don't have time to study the field, see where you should throw. You just got to get rid of it, and you're going to get smashed. And what it's doing is putting tremendous amount of pressure on Ty Simpson. Now, give Ty Simpson credit. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we're at. He is a great competitor. He grew up around football. His dad's a really good coach's kid. He knows the drill. And if it wasn't for his cool, steady head and great athletic ability, I'm telling you, he would have already been hurt earlier this year by defensive linemen that are just whiffing our offensive line.
Now, let me give you some other facts. Now, in the SEC, we're 14th in rushing. We know that, we're not great. We know that. We're averaging about 111 yards a game, which is not great. But the number one rushing team in the country is Missouri. They're averaging 230 a game, right? The number two team is Arkansas in rushing. But what are their records? Okay, true. And I get it. We struggle at running. There's only 10 teams with one loss or less. 10. And we, by far, have the toughest schedule in the country. Number 4, toughest strength of schedule. So I hear what you're saying, and I agree. It probably won't get fixed this year. May have to go to the portal, get some guys, whatnot. And I agree. But to me, it's something going on with scheme. And the reason I say that is we're really not pass blocking that bad. Like, it's pretty good. Now, the right side struggled a little bit with Formby. And there was a little bit of a little bit of a struggle we had going on with Formby and Robertson. They didn't give up a sack. Now, with that being said, the whole offense didn't play great. Now, there were some throws that got away from Ty that usually he'd hit, some long ones. There were some catches that we should have made that were going to be for first downs that were not great. Also, that first drive, we get on their side of the ball. We don't have a great field goal kicker, so we don't want to kick it where he's got to make it within 40, which he did hit one that was over 40, so good on Talty, good for you. But we ran up the middle for no gain, and they were 4th and 1, and what do? Let's run the quarterback up the middle in the teeth of the number 5 defensive line in the country. Like, the right side was wide open. Like, wide, like, you run an RPO to that side. So some of that was play calling. Like I said, some of that was Ty Simpson didn't have his best night. We know that. The overall offense probably had a C grade. There was one time he missed it was kind of behind him throw to Bernard, and he got mad, threw his helmet down, and he was struggling. He knew he was struggling. Now, there were some great catches that Williams made. That touchdown, the only one we had, Williams got crunched and held onto the ball. Now, there was one that would have been a first down on a different drive that I think in the third quarter that he just didn't catch, hit him in the chest. Now, hats off to Bama's defense, because first time all year LSU was held to no touchdowns, none. So what good teams do is they find ways to win. I get it. It's frustrating that we can't run. A lot of people are upset, but like I said, there's a lot of years that we played LSU. In the game, the clash of the century in 2011, I mean, we barely had any rushing yards that game. I mean, it was horrible. Like I said, I pulled up the stats from that year. In 2011, if you look at it, I mean, we went 6-9, lost that game. The year before that, in 2010, great defense. We lost that game in Baton Rouge, 24-21. Year before that, we won the national championship in 2009. We barely beat them in Tuscaloosa, 24-15. I mean, you look at all those years, you got to come up and find ways to win, and we did that. Now, like I said, there was other things that kind of culminated in that. We had 3 sacks, big sacks that we needed. We took both quarterbacks, Nussmeier and the other gentleman who came in. I can't remember his name. His name's escaping me. And we made them highly ineffective. We shut them down. We shut their run down 59 yards. They only got like 4 more yards than we got. I mean, 3 more yards. I mean, that's the way you win ball games. And sometimes in the ACC, you just got to take the win, whether it's an inch or a mile. Some stats that I thought were very interesting in this game, our third down efficiency was dismal. We were 4 of 13 for third downs. They were bad. Now, our first downs, we had 17 overall first downs, which was pretty good. Time of possession, we were almost equal. We had 28 minutes. They had 31. Like I said, Tom Simpson still had a decent game. He did give up that fumble because the line collapsed in on him. But let's also remember, we had some pretty darn good fumbles ourselves. We had Yanze Pereira, he caused that one fumble. Nakal High Green caused that one and got it himself. I mean, it was just we came up when we had to come up and we won. Yes, it was a nail biter. Yes, it was close. Our defense also, they drove the ball on us when they got the ball back from us, and we made them whiff a field goal. So, we're finding ways to win, and I get it. It's concerning. And yes, next week is going to be just a big test against Oklahoma and Mateer. His thumb's kind of busted up. His knee is a little wonky. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for us. It's a good matchup against us. I don't think they've played a defense kind of quite like ours. But I will say this. I don't think this run game will get fixed this season. I'm just going to be honest. I don't really see that. We've just got to find other ways to overcome it. And there was some bad play calling last night. There was also some bad quarterback play, as bad as I hate to say it. But hats off to LSU. They came in there with no coach. It's a rivalry game. They played their hearts out. We probably for sure left at least one touchdown on the field. but we found ways to win it, and that's kind of what you do. You just kind of keep going. Like I said, there was years in 2015 we went to Arkansas at night, uh, ESPN Friday night or Saturday night game, and we barely creep out of there with a 17-16 win. So it's sometimes you have those games and you just got to keep going. Like I said, I would challenge any of those other 10 teams in the country that have one loss or no losses. Do our schedule and see what you do. Hey, Indiana, try playing who we played and going to defeat. You had to come from behind on like a 90-yard drive yesterday to beat a team in Penn State with no coach. They folded in on you, and they put 34 on you. So it's kind of like, so I mean, I'm not excusing the run. I'm not excusing the miscues on offense, but we got to give kudos to where it's due.
Hmm. Well, defense wins championships, that's for sure. And if we can hold other teams to 9, 15 points, we'll probably win. But let's play what if. Simpson has looked like Superman. That's why he's been in the top 2 or 3 guys, in the Heisman Trophy race because he's been that good without a running game. Well, what if against Oklahoma or a future opponent, he doesn't have a great game? He's off. Well, then that's when you lean on your run game. Well, we can't do that because we don't have a run game. Statistics don't lie. 134 out of 139 says you should not win. The only way that we're winning is our defense. I was not a believer in our defense at first, but I've seen steady improvement all year long on our defense. Guys are
Hmm.
stepping up. We're getting better. We're getting turnovers. We're tougher to run against. We're developing a pass rush versus the offense. I don't see any improvement. I would suggest that we're getting worse. Now, who is our offensive line coach? I don't think anybody knows. I think that guy goes into hiding every Saturday night, doesn't show up again until the next Saturday night. Uh, don't they watch film? I mean, don't they have game film that they can watch and see what our offensive line is doing? I've tried to get in touch with HA and Barrett Jones and other Alabama greats, and I can't get in touch with them to ask them, hey, what's going on? Let's don't hear this coach speak. And, well, we just should have done better, or we just got to keep working. Cut the BS. What's not working? What is it? What is the problem? Is it our guys are just not good enough, or they're not being coached up? Why the heck are we running up the middle on first down every play? When we played, who was it? Notre Dame. We were passing on first down just about on every play, every series. First down, we got guys open because they're going to try to load the box, 5 to 8 guys and stop it. So we threw the ball. Um, why don't we do that? I don't get it. I know the right side of our line is awful. The left side, you've got one really good guy at tackle. But, if I'm a defensive player, I'm going to put 2 or 3 guys over there on Proctor's side and dare to run it. And that's what LSU was doing. So we can't just pick one side of the line and say, well, we're going to go behind this All-American and we're going to get yards. No, you're not. He can't block 3 people. So I don't know what the issue is. I wish I did. But we're not looking good to go on a long playoff run without a run game. Because if Simpson don't have a good, what if Simpson got hurt? And we don't have a quarterback that can just will the team to win, and he's not on the field. We're going to be in serious trouble. So I don't think you win a natty without a run game.
No, I agree. You can't. Now, if you look last year too, there was not a lot of great teams in the playoffs that had. I mean, there was not a lot of teams that made it deep without a great run game. But um, the main thing and the focus I think for Bama this year is let's get to the playoffs. Let's get over the hump. Let's get past this. I am proud and absolutely just so proud of having the fourth toughest schedule pretty much in the country. And you've done what you've done. Like I said, I don't think Ohio State could do what we've done. I don't think Indiana could do what we've done. Um, I just don't. I don't think that Texas Tech could have done that. I definitely don't think Oregon could have done that this year. Um, so I'm proud as heck. Let's keep working on the run game. The coaches know this. They're making way more money than we make together, and I guarantee they're trying to figure this out too. What goes on, or hey, at the end of the season, we might have to go to the portal and get three guys. When some of these schools ditch players, we may have to go get a few more guys to help out. But I think they're going to figure things out, and I think they're going to see And Grubb's not dumb. He saw what happened last week. He's like, man, 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, we may have to just do a rollout RPO because that's what's been working, and roll the tight end out, give him a run pass option because going in the teeth of a defense, and we proved it going in the teeth of a top 5 defensive line. Um, with us, we just can't get the push right now. I mean, it's maybe 50-50 at best, maybe. We're averaging, 1.5 yards a carry. So they see that, and we're just going to have to work around that. I think they were also trying to run the clock as well. That was part of this game to keep the clock running, one. And two, they knew, you could see some play calling. They knew Ty was a little bit off last night. They knew he was not having his best night. He was struggling. Quarterbacks do that every year. I don't care how good the quarterback is. He's going to have a night off or two. NFL quarterbacks do the same thing. So it is what it is, and they're going to figure that out, like I said. So that's just something we're going to have to work on, and just keep working on it, like I said. So great win, but yeah, that's definitely something it can be worked on. I don't think it'll be fixed this year. It definitely could hamper us going a deep run. It just is what it is. But I'm tickled to death. I guarantee Tennessee would love to be where we're sitting at. Auburn would love to be where we're at. Missouri would love to be where we're at. Even Oklahoma. I mean, heck, look at Vanderbilt. They would love to be sitting where we're at. So we just have to take the good with the bad and just try to do the best we can and work around that. We've been using screen games. We've been using, pitches. We've been using all these different things. And, like I said, if I feel like if Ty had an on night, we'd probably have 2 more touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
There were some guys that our guys beat, and they had them beat. And if the ball would have been there, they walk in. There was 3 plays I can think of at the top of my head. The one to Bernard, the one to Williams, and then the other one to not Latsir Brooks, but I think it was Lewis. Would have extended would have extended the drive and would have been fine. Like I said, it's just a rough SEC win. And yeah, definitely the run game is something we're going to have to figure out and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think it gets fixed this year.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it gets better.
Yeah, every time it gets 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, I'm biting my fingernails because I know it's going to be a miracle if we get 1 yard, if we're going to run the ball. During our championship runs, when it was 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and we had a good offensive line, I wasn't worried at all. We were going to get that yard. Now we can't. We're having to run trick plays. We're having to roll guys out. We have to run Simpson, roll him out. We can't just line up and say, hey, we're going to run it down your throat and we're going to get this first down. We're going to get that yard. We're not capable of that. So I don't know what we're going to do. Oklahoma, I guarantee you, is wearing that game film out, watching our offensive line, and they know where the weak spots are. And I would fully expect for them to attack, because what we got to do is reverse coach. We've got to get our defensive guys to look at our offensive guys and say, okay, where's the weak spots? You've got to basically look in the mirror. How would you attack Alabama's offensive line? And I'm not confident about Saturday. I'm really not. It wouldn't surprise me, if we got beat. Somebody that can run the ball, control the clock, control possession, and that's what Alabama's been trying to do with the little dink and dunk short passing game and the little screens, trying to keep the ball out of the other guy's hands, which is a great strategy. A good offense is a great defense because the other offense is sitting on the bench. So I love the ground game. I love the control, the clock. But when you don't have a run game, man, it makes it so difficult. That means the quarterback has got to be right on every series, every throw. He's almost got to be perfect. And how long can we depend on Simpson to be perfect? Nobody's perfect. Even A.J. McCarron, probably one of the best quarterbacks that's ever played at Alabama. He had an off game against LSU. And they didn't do anything the entire game except that last drive. And it was a miracle. He hit like 4 passes in a row, and he hadn't done it all game. And then the 28-yard screen pass to Yeldon in the last minute. Um, Sorry about that. In the last minute, won the game. So even the great ones have a night off. We can't afford to have a night off because we can't turn around and hand the ball to Derrick Henry or Lacey or Ingram or any of the other greats who had, because we don't have one. If we had a great running back, they could overcome poor offensive line play, but we don't have that. So I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the year. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it can be fixed. Well, they certainly didn't fix it in the bye week. They had 2 weeks to work on the running game, and it looked worse. So
Well, to be
I don't think
fair,
that we're going to have to jump into the portal. We're going to have to open up the billfold. We're going to have to spend some money on our offensive line because what we're doing now, those guys, they can't do it. So we've got to realize it. We got to realize there is a problem. We have to identify the problem, and then we have to find the solution. And the solution is getting really good guys up front, just like on the defense. We need some good defensive linemen that's going to be coming into the portal from these 15 schools that need coaches. They don't know who their head coach is going to be. They don't know who their position coach is going to be. They don't know what their offensive or defensive strategy is going to be. They don't know. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. So I suspect we're going to have to get in the portal and handpick the guys. Just plug and play. Okay, you're going to play right guard. Okay, you're going to play right tackle, and we're going to get the ball going. We're going to run behind you. That's the only way I know how to fix it. And as soon as that portal opens day one, I would jump in there and just take a blank check and get some guys that can do the job.
well, we gotta say one thing I'll say. I don't care who our running back is. When you're as immediately when you get the ball, if you got guys literally wrapping you up, one you got to block better. But to me, a scheme, we can pass block good enough, but you can't run to get a little hole open. And I agree, we probably need some different talent, and we probably need to get about 3 offensive linemen and potentially 2 defensive linemen from this class to come in the portal to make a difference. Um, like I said, you got to get that shored up, and maybe we can get it working. But then again, you're playing the top 5 defensive line in the country. I think that defensive line's better than anything Ohio State has. I think it's obviously better than what Georgia had when we played them. It's better than what Missouri had when we played them too. So that was a huge test. Did not do well in running. Did okay in passing. The defense got an A+. Offense maybe a C+. But we survive another day, so we'll see. And they know that. These young men know it. They're playing. They see it. So hopefully they get it ironed out, and we go in and do okay against Oklahoma. and everything. But yeah, it's definitely something that'll have to be ironed out in the off season after the playoffs for sure, because it won't get fixed beforehand. But we know that. Everybody else knows that, and everybody else I think has known that all season, and they've yet to overcome it, except for Florida State. So highly
Mm-hmm.
proud. They're finding ways to win, and that's what good teams do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how deep of a playoff run you can make with that, but I challenge any of the 10 teams in the country that have one loss or nothing, no losses. Try doing what we did, playing who we played. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Even with, and like I said, you look at the best rushing teams in the SEC. Would you want to have Arkansas's record right now? Would you want to have
Mm-hmm.
Missouri's record right now? No.
Well, there's another couple of issues that I think we need to address as we look over this season, which is winding down quickly. Coach Bryant always said you've got to have a good kicking game. Well, a good kicking game involves extra points, field goals, kickoffs, and punts, as well as the returns. Um, I remember Javier Arenas. We have had some great people. The guy from Tarrant, I can't call his name, but every time that I would go back and receive the punt, they could take it all the way.
It's not
Um,
Marquise Mays.
yeah, Marquise. I mean, that guy was awesome. We do not have a return game. We just don't. I don't know if it's the lack of talent. I know that little guy that catches punts for us.
Lontae
Most of
Brooks.
his are, the way that they're punting to us, he's got to call a fair catch. But we don't have the guys on the returns like on kickoff returns. We need to put a burner back there, whoever
We
it
do have
is.
one. We have Lontae Brooks back there, but most of the time they're kicking it right to Cole Adams. He doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, yeah.
If you
What,
watch
what,
how they're doing it.
what Bryant would do, he would line them up behind one another in the middle of the field, back by the goal line. And so the guy kicking off, he didn't know which side to kick to. And so the guy that's supposed to get the ball, he would break whenever the ball is kicked to wherever it's going to go. I mean, there's things that you can do, but our kicking game needs to be shored up. Once we get to like the 30-yard line or beyond 35, 40, and our place kicker runs on the field, it's like, oh crap. We got a 50-50 chance.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had some great kickers that have won a bunch of games for us. We've had, great punters that have flipped the field for us. And our punter is, I'm not going to complain.
He's
We have
pretty
a good,
good.
we
He's
have a
not
good punt
bad.
game, but we don't have a return game. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the hidden yardage that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. When's the last time, we've had a guy take it to the house? Every time that David Palmer went back, I mean, I was standing on my feet just waiting to see him take it back 40, 50, 100 yards. But now it's like, hopefully we get to the 25, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a return game. That hurts because that can flip the field. You can score off of it. It fires a team up. If you get to the 50, it shortens the field for the offense. We just are missing that. Hadn't seen it all year. So I don't suspect that's going to change once we get into the playoffs. I don't expect it to change against Oklahoma. But I wish they could. I wish they could figure it out. I wish they could watch film and figure it out. I trust DeBoer. He's got a great record, especially against ranked teams and against teams that he should beat. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what made Coach Bryant so good, is because almost every time that we were favored to win, he won.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we beat the teams that we were supposed to beat. He always got them ready. But now we're dealing with I know there's a talent gap because we'd have 100 guys on the sidelines. Bryant would just give scholarships to people he didn't want other teams to have. I know we're limited in that area, and with NIL, just made it even more difficult. That's why Saban's, on college game day.
Yep.
But there are things that I think we need to address for next year because it's too late to change all this stuff, between now and the next few weeks.
Well,
So,
I say, like I said, I think we should just, like I said, I'm playing good cop, but I think we should enjoy this year. Um, I think Simpson's going pro. I think he's going to get a first round grade. I think he's going to go pro. So next year we're going to have a new quarterback. Probably a new half of the line will be a portal line. Um, don't think DeBoer may not look. DeBoer he may look at University of West Florida's quarterback because we may need a type of kid like that to come in to play for Bama, to elevate our game. Depending on how the quarterbacks look now, we're going to have to bring in one. We don't know. I don't know if he wants to start a true freshman or not. So I say whatever roller coaster ride we're on this year, we should just enjoy it to the fullest because next year will be a lot of change, a lot of upheaval, definitely a new quarterback. Could be that portal kid from West Florida if he's looking at him, you know, or even the quarterbacks that we have on the roster that are very, very good, like Keelan Russell. So it's going to be a learning curve, and it could be above your learning curve, like some teams have. Nobody's perfect. These are not the days of the old where you could just stack, 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 stack. Like, Saban at one point had three deep NFL quarterbacks. Don't
yeah.
have that now. Nobody has that. So I say we just enjoy this ride for what it is. And there's a lot of teams that would love to be in our seat, and that's all we can do. So,
Mhm. Hit
but
the portal. Hit the
yep,
portal.
and just hit the portal. But well, it's been a good podcast, Dad, and I appreciate you coming on the podcast. And we'll get it sorted out one way or the other.
I hope so. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.